guys, it's Kelsey and Kendra, and today we're going to be filming a brush video for you guys. We get a lot of questions about the brushes that we use and which ones are essential to us. So this is just going to be our favorite, most used brushes. So we have quite a bit of brushes in front of us, so we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it, and this is going to be another long video. Okay, so we're going to start out with eye brushes because that's what we have like the most of. No, that's a lie. Well, I have more eye brushes to mention and Kendra has more face brushes to mention. Weird. Yeah. Okay, so first we're just going to start out what we like to use for our brows. I have 4 brushes. Kendra has 3. Well, technically 2 because this is the same thing. Yeah. 2 spoolies, my bad. So obviously, we love to have a spoolie. Everybody needs a spoolie. Just to brush out those brows to get them prepped for you to fill in the brows. Yeah. Just really essential. Everybody needs a spoolie. Even if you're not going to like fill in your brows, I feel like a spoolie is good just to brush them out when you just go out with no makeup. I just feel like these are really good for anybody, even if you don't wear makeup. Yeah. So this one is from BH Cosmetics. It's from the Rose Gold line. And some of these are like the same colors. The ones that are like the same colors, they came in like a set. Yeah, so they're from the same line. Yeah. So we'll have all these websites linked down below as well. But I just really like this one because the spoolie is like at an angle. So it just gives you like a nice, you know, angle to brush the brows rather than like straight across, even though I don't mind that, but yeah. I find that this is more comfortable for me, so that's why I really like these. And by the way, these BH Cosmetics brushes don't have numbers, they just say BH Cosmetics. And I also have one from BH Cosmetics, but it's just a simple, just straight across one. It's really easy to work with. A spoolie is a spoolie to me. Even though these bristles are a little softer, I have used spoolies where like the brushes were kind of hard. Or like too tough to the point where like scratch your brows. Yeah, like really scratchy. Yeah. But I like a dense one that's not too soft and not too hard. Yeah. I like right in the middle. I agree. So these are really good. And I also have one from Morphe as well. This one is a little bit softer than the BH Cosmetics one, but they're both really, really good. And yeah, like I said, spoolie is a spoolie. Okay, so we both have to have an angled brush. Yes. This one does not have a name, but I'm guessing it's from Crown Brushes. I'm going to say Crown Brushes because it doesn't have a name on it. But I just like to use this just to fill in my brows with product, my brow powder, and it works great. So I have to have me a really good angled brush. And this one is actually really soft as well, but not like too soft to the point where it's not dense enough to like actually pack on the color on my brow. So like this is like my go-to brush. This is the only brush I use to fill in my brows. And what I use my angle brush for, you guys know I don't use powder to fill in my brows because I'm like a pencil kind of girl, and I also like to use my dip brow sometimes from Anastasia. But I like to use this to carve out my brows, like the outside of them. So I use concealer with this brush. I use my MAC Studio Finish concealer, and I just feel like it gives it a nice clean line underneath my brows just to make them look nice and groomed like around the brow. It just makes everything look more clean and neat and put together. So that's what I like to use this for. And I also have another angled brush. This is pretty much the same thing, but it's a tad bit bigger and wider. I think this brush is from Crown Brushes. It's just all blacks. So I like to use this brush to fill in my brows whenever I use the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade. So I like to use this for that. And I only use this to fill in the outside of my brows. And like I said, I use this kind of brush to carve out my brows with concealer. So just to clear that up, I don't want y'all to be confused. Like, I don't use this brush for both. I only use this for concealer, and I use this one whenever I use the Dip Brow Pomade. Okay, so these 2 brushes I like to use for concealer. So this one I like to use to carve out the brows with my Studio Finish concealer, and this one I like to use to kind of blend it out. Like I blend downward and then the top outward. I am going to do an updated brow routine soon because a lot of you guys have been asking. I use the same technique, just a different product, but y'all asked for it, so I'll probably do one. So yeah, these are just strictly put on concealer, blend out concealer. Oh, and this one is from Crown Brushes. I think I got in a set like at the very first New York IMAX we ever went to. Just the blue and pink sets. And then this is a BH Cosmetics brush from the purple set. So the next eye brush we have is from Morphe Brushes. This is a really dense, I don't even know what to call this type of brush. Dense, fluffy, round brush. I don't know. we use this to apply like an eyeshadow base or primer, anything like that to your eyelid, and it's so good to like create like a nice clean like canvas, like bare canvas when you use like a paint pot from MAC, or if you want to use a concealer or something like that. Yeah, this is really good to like pack on like product all over your entire lid to prep for eyeshadow, and it puts on color so well. It doesn't like all end up in the brush. It actually gets on the eyelid, so I really like that about this too. So you guys see me use this in every single tutorial. Yeah, and I also use it as well, but I use it with my MAC Studio Finish concealer. So we apologize for some of these not having names, but we are telling you guys the brands so it can be a little bit easier to find. Okay, next, moving on to blending brushes. I only have two to mention to you guys. One is an old favorite, one is a new favorite. The old favorite is a BH Cosmetics brush. This is my favorite blending brush. I use all the time in all my tutorials. It's just a really, like, it goes from like smaller to bigger, like at the end, kind of like fluffy. Flares out. Yeah, super fluffy. It's a little bigger than your average blending brush. Well, it's a lot bigger, but I like that because it just, like, you know, spreads everything out so well for like a good transition color. And it's also good just to like blend everything together and like blend everything out so, you know, everything looks nice and seamless. So it's good for that as well. And then this one Kendra actually gave to me. This is a Morphe brush. This is the G17. And it's really good too. It's kind of similar but kind of not. This one starts small and gets like fluffy too, but this one is not as flared out. This one is more dense to me. So I really like both of them. They pretty much do the same thing. So I like to alternate between these two. The first one is like my absolute favorite. Like, I never not use this brush. Like I said, none of these have a name, but this one is really flat when you turn it like on the side. But when you look at it like from like a regular angle from the front, kind of like a fan shape, if that makes sense. But it's really good to like get in the crease. It's fluffy, but it's flat, if that makes sense. So it gives you more control. Like if you don't work good with like a super fluffy brush and you need something that's more controlled, this is really good for that. And it just blends out eyeshadow so well, and it's so soft. I don't even know what line this is from Morphe, but they kind of have like these white hairs at the top, and they go from like black to like a off-white color. So we'll have close-up so you can see exactly what they look like, but these are super soft. They don't feel like prickly or anything like that. They don't hurt your eyes or anything. So I'm obsessed with this brush. And then the next one is not as fluffy. This one is a little bit more dense, but it is a nice like blending brush as well. This is really good after you apply your transition shade, which is what I use this one for. And I like to use this for like that medium tone color, like if you want to go in with a shade darker than the transition color. Hope that makes sense. So this is really good for that as well. So I like to use this to blend out like my darker colors. So I only have two crease brushes to share with you guys. One is like a pencil crease brush, and then the next is kind of like a dense, bigger crease brush. So I got this one from Morphe Brushes, and then this one from Crown, I think. Yeah, I think I got this from Crown Brushes. So I like this pencil brush to if I really want to focus something right in this area and kind of like create kind of like a soft cut crease or something like that. I don't do it that often, but when I do, I like to use this brush in particular just because it's super like dense and like focuses color right in that area. So this is the type of brush that when you put the color in that area, it's probably not gonna go anywhere. So that's what I like to use this for. And this one I like to use kind of like in the outer crease. And this is good to use in the outer crease if you want to blend it forward kind of and not give you as much of a cut crease. So I like to use this more often than this one. So I use this one a lot when I just want to focus that color in here, but also kind of like blend it out and kind of make it nice and soft out here on the edge. So I use this one a lot. The two crease brushes I have to talk about are both from Morphe. This one is really tapered. It almost looks like a fluffy brush when you first look at it, but it's a lot more tapered. If I'm doing like a smoky eye and I want like the crease to be more dragged inward and not just on the outer corner, I like to sweep back and forth. Yeah, like that one. I like to sweep back and forth with this one because it applies product well and it blends all at the same time. So I really like this for that. And this one is pretty much a pencil brush. It's really pointy at the ends. So this is really good just to apply like your outer V color, or if you want to go all the way in. It's really defined. So it's going to give that defined look. And this is really good to go in and blend that outer corner color out and just focus on that area a lot. So I really love using these for that. So next, moving on to lid brushes. I have two. One for shimmery colors and like pigments, and then the other I like to use for matte colors. Yes. So this one I have is like super flat, doesn't go anywhere, super dense, and this is just perfect to pack on that shimmery color. And I also like to use this for pigments. It's just like perfect and it packs on color so beautifully, and I just I love this brush so much. So I get a lot of use out of this because y'all know I love, you know, shimmery colors on the lid. So this is from BH Cosmetics. This is the rose gold line. So yeah, y'all might want to get y'all hands on that set. Got a lot of good brushes. But yeah, this is definitely the brush I pick up mostly when I'm going for my lid area. So it's just perfect. And then the next one is also a BH Cosmetics brush. This is the purple line. I like to use this for matte colors just because it has a fluff to it and it's not super flat. So it picks up the matte color so well, and it also helps me blend it at the same time.
And matte colors don't have to be like used with a synthetic brush necessarily to be applied.
Yeah, I feel like the flat brush wouldn't apply the matte color as good as this for me personally, just because I like to kind of like blend it kind of with the colors like surrounding that color. For a shimmery color, you can't really do that because then glitter gets all in your crease, and I hate when that happens. So that's why I like this one to focus the color on the lid only. And then this one is perfect because it doesn't do that. You have the option to also blend it out around the edges as well. So I love this brush for that.
Okay, so I have 3 lid brushes to talk about. The first one is from Morphe, and trust me, it is clean, but this like ratchetness won't come off for some reason. I don't know what happened to it, but this goes to show how much I use this brush. Like I said, this is from Morphe, and it's like kind of similar to the one Kelsey showed from BH Cosmetics, and I love how it's like kind of rounded at the top and it's like goes straight up on the sides, and it's super flat. I love using this brush to apply like shimmery colors like Kelsey said, and it's also really good if you want to wet your brush.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I like to wet my brushes when I use like a shimmery color or pigments or anything like that. So these are perfect if you want to wet the brush and like spray Fix Plus or anything like that on it and just apply it to your lid. It packs on color so well, and it kind of, I love how like thin it is because it kind of helps you have control over your lid and not getting it in the crease area like Kelsey said, because that's so annoying when the glitter gets in like the matte colors. It's so annoying. And then I have this one from BH Cosmetics. This one is a lot longer, so sometimes I find that using this one I use it sideways, like apply the color sideways, because if I do this it gets too high up in my crease area. But it's still really good. Like if this one is dirty, I just go for this one because it still has that same effect, like it's super flat and I can wet it if I want to. So really love this. And then the last lid brush I have to talk about, this is from Target, and this is probably one of the oldest brushes here that I'm going to talk about. This is so old. Like this brush is one of the very first brushes I ever bought when like we first started doing makeup. Target was like my go-to place for brushes because we didn't know what we were doing. So Target, like this brush is so old, and it has lasted me so long and hasn't broken like the, what you call this, the fossil. Basically the handle on the brush hasn't like broken or anything. The glue hasn't loosened. Like this brush has been a ride or die for me, and I like to use this to apply matte colors because it's a little bit thicker. It's not really thin. It has more bristles in it, and I love to apply this on my lid, and it's really small, so I like how much control I have when I apply my lid color. So really love this. Okay, so for brow bone brushes, I only have one to mention, and this is a e.l.f. brush. This is a white e.l.f. brush. I got it from Target for $1. Yes,
I love this brush.
the white line.
Oh, you have one too?
Yes, it's the same one.
Yeah.
The white line of e.l.f. brushes, all of them are $1. So if you're looking for like really cheap brushes, just go to Target and look at your e.l.f. brushes because they have a lot of good ones.
Yeah, but this one in particular, I like this one because it's so dense and it's super fat. So it packs on color on the brow bone perfectly. So I just love this brush for that. And for only $1, this brush works amazing. It works worth more than $1. So go get your hands on this brush if you've been looking for like a really good brow bone brush that packs on color really good and you don't have to like keep going back in. It's just really good. So this brush is excellent for a good brow bone brush.
I have one more brow bone brush to talk about. This is from Sigma, and this is from like their travel kit, the purple line. I don't even know the name of it. This is so old, but I'm showing this because you guys see me use this a lot for my brow bone color. I use this a lot for my brow bone, even though this says it's an eye shading brush, but I like to use it for just my brow bone color. And this is in the number E55. So yeah, I've been using this for a really long time.
Okay, so next, lower lash line brushes. I have 2 to share with you guys. One from BH Cosmetics, and then this one is from Crown Brushes. I might be lying, but I think it's from Crown Brushes. So the BH Cosmetics one, this one is actually a double-ended brush, but I don't use this side just because I don't even know what to do with this. It's just like, no, I cannot use this for eyeliner, but I love this side. It's like a fluffy pencil brush.
I like to use this for whatever transition color I applied with my blending brush. I use this for that color to apply along my lower lash line, and it just blends out so good. So I really like this brush a lot for that. And I'm not sure the name of this line, but it's like their Eco line because it's like an off-white color. This one is a smudge brush, and I love this one. It doesn't have a name. It's just like pink smudge brush, and it's super, super small and flat as well, but it's perfect to like drag whatever darker color you want along the lower lash line and kind of keep it close to the lash line and not bring it too far down, you know, so you won't like look like a raccoon or anything like that. So this is really good to kind of focus on that lower lash line and keep it nice and tight in there. And I also recently discovered that it's good to blend out a coal pencil as well, because I just used it for my 90s grunge makeup tutorial, so it's also really good for that. So very good multi-use brush. So speaking of multi-use brushes, I did just mention this for my outer corner and like crease brushes, but I also like to use this on my lower lash line. It's really good to just like not pack on, but this is really good to just apply the product first to your lower lash line. Like really good to just drag it on there and like keep it there. This is Morphe, by the way, again, if you forgot. But this brush is from BH Cosmetics, and I like to use this to blend out the lower lash line color, like when I want to smoke it out and like make it really not messy, but blend it out, but still controlled and not raccoonish like Kelsey said. So this is like really flat and it goes straight across. It's really short. This is really flat and it's a little bit longer, so it just like it goes perfectly under the eye. Feels so good because this brush is so soft, because it sucks if you have a lash line brush that's prickly and not comfortable to use. So this is really soft, so it's comfortable to use, and it just, I use this every time I want to blend out my lower lash line with eyeliner or eyeshadow. So love, love, love this from BH Cosmetics. Okay, so I have 3 more eye brushes to mention. Kendra's done with hers. So the next brush I have is my inner tear duct color brush. Y'all know I'm all about inner tear duct highlight. Whether I have a shimmery eye look or a matte eye look, I have to have an inner tear duct color just because my eyes are small and I like to open them up with a nice shimmery inner tear duct color. This is from BH Cosmetics, and it's super, super small and tiny, and it goes to like kind of like a arrow point, I guess you could say, and it's flat, and it just fits perfectly in the inner tear duct area, so you can just get like nice in there. So you just get in there really good. And it's also good to like if you want to drag it a little bit in the front part of your lid and like on the lower front part of your lower lash line. So just a really good brush for the inner tear duct area. Okay, next brush is also from BH Cosmetics from the purple line, like the last brush, and this is my favorite angled eyeliner brush. So I always like to use this brush to apply my gel eyeliner. So this brush is bomb for that. Y'all know I love gel eyeliner, so I really like to use this for my gel eyeliner because it's dense enough. Because you can't really use an angled brush that's too fluffy because it's going to be too wide and fat for a eyeliner look. So this one is really good because it's nice and thin to give you that nice crisp eyeliner look. And if you're a beginner in gel eyeliner, these brushes are like the easiest to learn because they're nice and dense and you have more control. So I really love this brush. Last eye brush is just like a random flat like angled brush. It goes like to like an angle, but I like this if I need to clean up eyeshadow on the edge or if I need to clean up some eyeliner that I might have messed up. So this is also from BH Cosmetics, the rose gold line. So this brush is perfect for that, just to, you know, clean up that edge. If you don't want to use a baby wipe or something, you want to take some concealer and just like clean it up. So I love this brush for both of those things. So okay, so moving on to face brushes. Face brushes are like really, really important. Like I highly recommend face brushes if you want your makeup to look flawless and nicely done, because I cannot stand when people use their fingers. It's just like a pet peeve of mine. I always feel like I need a brush, even if it's for like an everyday natural look. It's just more sanitary too.
Yeah, maybe that's why I don't like the finger thing. Yeah, it's more sanitary. So yeah. Okay, so starting with foundation brushes, the first one we have to talk about is from Real Techniques, and this is the only Real Techniques brush in this video, but this is probably like one of their best brushes. This is their Expert Face Brush, and this is really good to apply foundation with because it's dense but still really kind of fluffy at the same time. Yeah. It's not so dense to the point where you can't blend anything out. Yeah. So love, love, love this, and it's so soft.
Yeah, it
like
is a soft brush.
when I tell y'all, if you can't get your hands on Sigma or any foundation brushes online, go to Ulta or wherever they sell Real Techniques where you live and get this brush because it's amazing.
Yeah, very inexpensive. Excellent brush. I remember the first time I used it, I was like,
I wasn't expecting
I really like
to be this good. Yeah.
Like I didn't even pick up my Sigma brush for a while just because I was so obsessed with this brush. So get your hands on this, like Kendra said, if you can't find, you know.
If you're looking for a go-to everyday foundation brush, get this.
And like get like 2 or 3 so you don't have to keep using the same one over and over.
And then if you don't want to clean them right away, because I'm so lazy about cleaning my brushes.
Hence mine is dirty, but yours is clean.
I just washed it the other day.
And the next foundation brush we both have is the very first foundation brush we've ever used. I'm lying. This is the second foundation brush that we ever used. I just thought about it. This is the Sigma F80 Kabuki brush. And this was like holy grail status. Yeah, but for a reason.
Yeah, when it first came out, I was like, I need that brush in my life.
Yes, I'm like, what is this F80 Kabuki everybody's using? Yeah. So I went on Sigma. I was like, I need this brush. It's kind of on the expensive side, but with good reason because it's so dense. And
it's really soft.
Yes.
Like, so soft. And it just
blends out so
well, and it creates like the perfect airbrush finish for your foundation. So I'm obsessed with this brush. If you don't own any Sigma brushes,
just get this one.
You need to own this brush. Yeah. And I have one more foundation brush to talk about, even though it's one of my newer favorites. I still wanted to mention it to you guys because it's that good. This is the Makeup Geek stippling brush. I can never get that word right. I say it with an F and that is not right, Kendra. Stippling with the P brush. This is another flat top. I love the flat top kabukis for foundation. I find that the flat top kabuki brushes work best because they pack on foundation really easy without picking up too much product. I feel like it spreads the foundation out evenly and you don't have to go back in with more foundation if you don't want to. Like it spreads out a good amount on your face. So that's one of the reasons why we love the flat top kabuki brushes. But this one is really good and it's so soft. It's nothing better than a soft foundation brush because this is like the first thing you put on your face when it comes to like face makeup. So this like this creates like the perfect base for the rest of your makeup and it's just so airbrush like the Sigma one. So love this Makeup Geek brush. So the last foundation brush I have to mention is a 2-in-1. I'm sorry all my brushes dirty, y'all. I really did not have time to clean mine.
But I used most of these before this video.
Some of mine are used, but most of mine are clean. So
sorry, but this is the e.l.f. flat top kabuki brush. It says e.l.f. powder brush, but this is a flat top kabuki brush. This was the very first foundation brush we've ever used. Like when they did not sell these in Target. Like that long ago.
We ordered it online then. Like so old.
Very old. So this brush is amazing to pack on powder, to blend out foundation. So it's a 2-in-1. So it's a really good brush for both of those things. I used it today actually for my foundation. It just blends out so good. Super soft. Very soft. Not prickly. Doesn't hurt your face. And it's also bomb to pack on some powder. Like
yes, this is like,
well, if you like the matte look.
Powder brush.
If you like matte look.
Yeah.
The matte look. So yeah. Love this brush for both of those things. It's also only like $3.
$3. As you can see, I have 2 here. This, I think the short one was from the actual set that we bought years ago, like a long time ago. And then this one is from just the one they sell individually at Target. So if you guys are looking for another affordable foundation brush or powder brush, like the Real Techniques one, if you don't want to buy that one, get the e.l.f. one because you can use this for powder and foundation. You can even buy 2 for 1 of each. So yeah, you can use 1 for powder, 1 for foundation. Like these are so good and so affordable. Like the best part, they're $3, so you can't really beat it. So please go get you like more than 1 of these. Okay, so next powder brushes. This one is from BH Cosmetics, the Rose Gold line. I'm telling y'all better go get that set. But this brush is bomb to put on powder because you can pack on with this brush as well as blend out. So I love this brush so much. It's like nice and soft, super soft actually. So I used this brush today to pack on my powder, and I use this brush actually in a lot of my tutorials. You guys see me use this brush to put on my powders to finish everything off. This is just a really good brush from BH Cosmetics, so I love this powder brush. And then for my under eye concealer, I like to use my NARS translucent powder to set my under eye concealer with this e.l.f. brush. This e.l.f. brush is amazing to set under eye because it fits perfectly in this area. It's like a triangle shape kind of, so it has a point at the tip.
At the tip, yeah.
So you can get in your inner area like this.
Because it's very hard to get in there. You know where the where it creases, your concealer creases?
Yeah, where it creases the most.
And that's like where you really need the powder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just gets in there really good.
Yeah. I don't know if this one was $3, but
it was.
Yeah.
Was
These
$3.
e.l.f. brushes are the truth. Like the black line, they're the softest.
Yeah, they are the softest.
So good.
I think they call the black line is called the studio line also, by the way. So yeah, this brush is bomb to set concealer. So go get your hands on it.
And even though I just mentioned this, again, this is what I want to tell y'all. This is the best thing that I use for powder that works for me the most, because I feel like Kelsey said, it packs on powder amazingly. Like so good. So this is what I use today to apply my powder. So this is like my #1 powder brush. And then if I want to do like a lighter application for powder, I like to use something like these two. This one is from BH Cosmetics, the purple line, and this is so soft. When I tell y'all, these BH Cosmetics face brushes, so soft.
They feel the best after you wash them.
Yeah, they feel the best after you wash them. So they're like, I'm sorry, I just can't get over how soft this brush is. So I really love to use this to just like not messily, but freely apply my powder when I'm like in a rush. If I don't want a whole lot of coverage for powder, I really like to go in with this because it blends out nicely. And you can also use this to blend out blush or anything like that. So this is really like an all-purpose kind of brush. And I recently got this Morphe brush from their gunmetal collection. This is the G7. And y'all, I use this today to like blend everything out. So good. It's a little bit more dense than the BH Cosmetics one, but still just as soft, and it's still pretty fluffy. And this one is good if you want to blend anything out or if you want to pack it on, because it still has that denseness, if that's a word, to it. It's not. Well, I'm just gonna go with it. It still has like that dense effect to it, to where you can pack on product and it have like give you that full coverage that you want, or you can use this to kind of blend everything together. Again, this is the G7, so yes, love this brush.
Those are the best brushes too, like 2-in-1 brushes that you can use for like multiple
more
things.
than one thing, yes.
Because you really get your money's worth. Okay, next moving on to blush brushes
and highlighting
brushes. So I have 2 blush brushes to mention. One is from Morphe and the other is from BH Cosmetics. So the Morphe brush is just an angled blush brush. Kind of self-explanatory, just angled, nice and fluffy and soft. I used this today. And also, if you like to use bronzer and contour, it's also good for that because it has an angle and it's also kind of flat to where you can like fit it in the area really good. I don't contour because the good Lord blessed me, you know, with nice hollow cheekbones, you know. But this is the M104. So this one does actually have a name. So it's really good to like, you know, pack on blush. And then I also like to work mine up. So I like the fact that it's angled. So, you know, to get it, you know, in there really good. And then this one from BH Cosmetics pretty much has the same shape, but this one is a little bit bigger and a little bit more fluffy. So this is good for a blush that is not too pigmented, because you can kind of look like a clown, because this like packs it right there, and because it's not as small. This one is like more fluffy, so it's good if you know you have like a nice really matte like everyday soft blush. So this is really good for that. So I really like this blush brush for that. So love both of these.
And both of these brushes I each use for blush and a highlighter, even though this is like an angled kind of a blush contour brush, whatever you want to do. I like to use this for my highlight because I use like one side of it. It sits nicely on the high points of my cheeks. So I literally dab a little bit of whatever highlighter I'm using, and it just fits perfectly here and it blends it out nicely. And this, like I said, these BH Cosmetics brushes are really soft. So love this. And then this one I've been using forever now. This is from Sigma, and this is the large angled contour. This is the F40, but I use this for blush. I've been using, this is probably like my favorite blush brush because it's really soft. It just fits perfectly on my cheeks for blush because I feel like it's not too big, but it's not too small to the point where I have to like keep applying blush, if that makes sense. So I really love this for blush. They're basically the same shape. I just use them for 2 different things. Okay, so the brush I like to use to apply my highlighter is this BH Cosmetics stippling brush. Doesn't have a number, just a BH Cosmetics brush. It's kind of small, which I like, and I just like to blend it out in circular motions perfectly in this area. So that's what I like to use this for. You guys have seen me use it in numerous tutorials, so this is actually the only brush I use to apply my highlighter. So yeah, love this brush for that. And I have a bigger stippling brush to show you guys. I actually like to use this to blend out like all my makeup, like to blend my blush and highlighter together sometimes. So this is really good for that. This is what I think a stippling brush looks like, even though Makeup Geek says that this is one. I don't think it is. This is a stippling brush. So I love this to like blend everything out and to make sure everything looks seamless and not like one-dimensional, if that makes sense. So love this brush for this. And I think this is from Morphe. I got it at IMAX New York last year. So love this brush. Okay, so those are all of our favorite slash go-to must-have makeup brushes. Now all of these brushes are what we like to use them for. You can definitely use these brushes for other things. Just use them for what works for you. So they're all interchangeable. You can use them for different things.
There's no rules.
No.
So you don't have to use certain things for one thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can use them like Kelsey said, whatever works for you.
And also all the brands will be linked down below, all the websites, so you guys can go explore and see what brushes you want to buy and what brush sets you want to get. We hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.